The most important thing to keep in mind when you're creating videos Hey my people, and welcome back to another quest with me, Kyla. As you know, that's what we do here every time. This video was something that was asked for. I appreciate the request because it's something that I know I struggled with when I was starting out, and that is editing. How do you put up a YouTube video? How does this all begin? What do you do? Like all those massive questions. So I thought I'd create one video about it. Turns out it's gonna be a couple videos. I went through and filmed my editing process. We're gonna split this up. This is part one, and I'm gonna release a couple videos on how I edit so you can pick up those tricks if you want. And you know what I use. Just if you're interested, you like my style of editing, then you've got a place to kind of figure out how I make it happen. That's what we're doing today. If you would, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Become part of our little questing family where we empower each other through our quests, new, old, continuing. That's what this community is about. It's positive. We try and keep people uplifted here because that's what we need right now, but also what we need all the time. If you would like this video, if you find yourself enjoying it at any point, hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. Before we hop into it, I hope you're doing really well. I know it's a rough time. Thank you to all of the people out there working, all the frontline people, just everyone out there doing their part. If you're staying home, thank you for that. I really appreciate it. If you can stay home, of course. Sending you good vibes. Hope you're doing well. Let's hop into how I edit. I think the most important thing to keep in mind when you're creating videos, if I really like the videos I'm creating, people are more likely to enjoy them as well. So that's kind of the standard I set for myself, is it's got to be something I really like and I can find inspiration in creators I really enjoy and follow. That's something I'm thinking about while I'm doing the first step in creating videos, and that is planning. Planning is everything. I have a book, and in my book I have a list of ideas for videos that I keep in tab. You can do that electronically, of course, if you want to, and that way I can be inspired. I have something to go back to. I'm kind of stale and don't know what I want to create. I've got that list there, and I have that inspiration, idea, that topic that's speaking to you at the moment. And you want to take that video and any other videos and maybe put that into a calendar. When your videos are going to be uploaded, what's realistic for you with editing, with work, with everything that's going on. It usually takes me about 5 to 8 hours to edit a video. That's a long time for a video. It depends on what the video is, but it takes a long time. Your first video is going to take the longest, so give that one extra time, just because editing software takes a little while to learn if you haven't messed with editing software, but you're gonna be probably the most critical of that first video. And I definitely was for my first video. It was a lot of fun, but I was very critical. So you want to keep that in mind when you're creating. With your schedule, I would, if you want to do it electronically or on paper, outline for each video. It makes it a lot easier if you already know what your thumbnail is going to be, because you're going to remember to take that thumbnail in that outline. If you have a list of different locations you want to shoot for that video, different shots you want to get, all those things. Putting that pen to paper or putting it out electronically in your notes or whatever, it helps so much because you've already thought about it. You put that work in for yourself. You're going to save yourself time when you're actually filming and editing. It saves you so much time. So you want to have your list, have your standard, and then you want to plan. Plan, 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 and plan one more time. It just saves you time and you're ready to go. All right, let's get into equipment. It's really important to think about what you're using, the products you're using to create your videos. What do you have at your disposal? How can you make that work? There are a couple basics with equipment that you want to take into consideration. The first piece of equipment I want to talk about is lighting, as I sit in front of this window in my house. And I recommend using as much natural light as possible. I think it looks really good. I've been using a lot more of it in my videos, and I really like the way they've turned out. That's my first recommendation. You can use the lighting in your house, but that can sometimes cast a yellow light, and that's not always great when you're filming. Sometimes in your house with your lighting, depending on your camera and how it's set up, you can get banding across your video because of how the light interacts with the camera, which is not great. And then you have to try and fix it in editing, which sometimes happens and usually doesn't, and then you have to shoot it again, which is frustrating. If you're dead set on getting some lighting though, I would say use a ring light. There are some really affordable tabletop ones. They're like 40 bucks, and that's a good place to start. You can also get those work lights at a Home Depot or someplace like that. Maybe not right now, but later. You can get those lights and you can use it to bounce light in the room and change that around. Look into different lighting techniques like that is something I'd recommend, but I'd go for a more affordable option. Let's talk about cameras. I did invest quite a bit of money into the Canon G7X Mark II, and I love it. Now, I didn't just invest for this channel. It's a nice side benefit, but I also enjoy using it for photography. In high school, I've taken a lot of pictures. If you've seen my office makeover, I'll link that video for you. That was a lot of fun to create. But in that, you would see that I've taken some photos and developed them myself. Photography is a really big passion of mine, I would say, and I can use this camera for that. I really like that it's lightweight and it's compact. I can take it anywhere. I can hold it up if I am doing an angle where that is necessary. So yeah, I would recommend this camera if you want to invest in something for your channel. The other nice thing about this camera is that it is so color accurate. Right now, I would say I'm looking at the viewfinder, it's very close to what I look like in person. I like that the color on it is so accurate, and when I have to go back in post and do color grading, I don't have to change it that much unless I'm in a room where the yellow lighting is happening. In the bathroom, I usually get an orange or yellow tinge, and that's just because of the lighting in there, and you can't do much for that, but it's expensive and there are other options. You can use your phone. That works great, and that's how most people start. So that's really my recommendation. I do use a tripod. I got this off of Amazon months ago and do recommend. I did get an extra battery, and I did get 64 gigabyte SD cards. And those I got 2, and those have been wonderful and work great for me with what I shoot and what I do. So those are the little accessories that would probably boost your ability to get a lot of content and do what you want to do. Those are all the physical pieces of equipment I use for my channel. Now, time to talk about software. The software I use. There are quite a few things. Let's talk thumbnails first, because that's pretty dang important. It's what people look at and click on your videos for. So I use 2 online softwares that are free up to a point. The first one is Canva. A lot of people start out using that. There are a lot of great tutorials. I'll see if I can link one down below for you. But great place to start. Works really well. There is eventually a place you would have to pay for it, but check it out. I recommend it. Then Snappa is the other one I use just because I like the text from Snappa. So those are the 2 websites I use, and I kind of go back and forth to create my thumbnails. I will link those down below for you. A recent discovery in software has been OSB screen recording. I will link that as well down below. It works. Just make sure you are checking the format of the video you are screen recording in. I had to convert all of mine so they would work in Davinci, but the screen recording worked wonderful. I would say my biggest find as far as software goes is Davinci Resolve 16, which is what I use to edit. I am a PC user, and PCs are kind of a complicated situation when it comes to editing software, mainly because there's nothing like iMovie on a PC, and you can get Final Cut Pro, but it's a whole situation to make it work on a PC and all of that, and I didn't want to pay $300. I started looking into free options. There's Filmora, which is another way to go, but I found Davinci Resolve because I was helping my friends with their Twitch channel. I had switched for them when they played D&D. Check their channel out. They are Torpid Gaming Network. I love them dearly, and it was a lot of fun switching for them, and I wouldn't have found the software without them. So really check them out if you're a Twitch person. Knew Blackmagic Design, and I knew it was a good company, and then I found out they offered a free version of editing software, and I knew that was the right thing for me. Now, the tricky part is you have to have good graphics processing, so keep that in mind. Check the specs when you are looking at this software. Really important in making sure you have the right thing. But if you have iMovie, that's another really good way to start. But for those who don't have access to iMovie, I recommend Davinci Resolve. It has been really intuitive for me. I've picked up on it. I learned it pretty well in a month, and since then have evolved and found so much more. People are switching from Adobe Premiere to this product even, so there you go. The free version works really well. You can pay $300 and get all of the upgrades and have access to different effects and all sorts of different things. But I've been able to create really great videos without paying the $300. So I recommend the free version to you. Just check the specs, make sure it will work with the computer you have. You can still technically get Windows Media Player. I just didn't want to mess with that. I use an SD card reader. I forgot to mention it just because my computer didn't come with it. And of course, you will need a computer if you want to use the Davinci product. Other than that, you can edit on your phone. I know it's possible. I've just never done it, and I knew I'd want to do this on a computer, so. And that's the equipment I use. Now you know. If you have questions about stuff, of course, leave a comment below. I think it's time to hop back and see how I put this project together and sort my files electronically. And let's use a cool Davinci program transition. Boom. Thanks for hanging out today. Part 2 will be coming soon. If you have questions, of course, comment down below and I will get back to you as soon as possible in this editing process. The next one will really hop into all of the editing details. It will be a lot, but in the best way possible. I hope you're doing well, taking care of yourself, doing what you can, staying home if you can, please. Thank you again to all those people out there working and doing what they need to do. I'll see you on the next one. Which your first video is going to take you the longest to edit. What? A minute. What? Am I okay? A video can take anywhere. I did get a tripod. Where is it?